Today is the 5-year anniversary of when I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma. And for those of you who do not know, that is a bone marrow cancer. Your bone marrow is where you produce basically your immune system cells. And so it was really tough. And a little bit about the backstory. I was 8 months pregnant with my baby girl on December 22nd of 2018. I was getting really sick. I felt like I was dying. I didn't know what was going on, but I was very weak. I couldn't hold anything down and could feel myself slipping away. I felt very, very faint. And so, focusing all my attention on my baby, I knew that I needed to get a nutritional IV because I wasn't able to keep anything down. And my main focus was, well, how do we protect her? How do we help her? And so I had gotten a hold of a clinic, and my uncle, who's an EMT, I asked if he could help place the IV. I was fading away very quickly. I came very close to dying. But this IV saved my life. And at this time, I had no idea what was going on with me. I just knew that I was very, very sick. But I became very, very close to death, to the point where I saw the light. And this is a whole nother story that I'll have to tell another time as far as the near-death experience. But fast forward exactly 1 month after that. So there's all these things with the 222 because I kept having these visions and these signs of 222 for years before this ever happened. So it was 12/22 when I had the near-death experience, and then it was 1/22 of 2000, so there was like 3 twos lined up for the day that my daughter was born in the hospital, which they saved my life there because my hematocrit was an 18. It was supposed to be a 40. My iron was a 6. My blood pressure was very high. I had to get two whatever they call it, bags of blood before I could have my daughter. They was able to turn her, thank heavens, because she had turned sideways. So they were prepping me for an emergency C-section. I probably would not have lived through that because of the extra blood. The doctors were able to turn her so that I could have, so I had like an epidural, but I was able to have her vaginally, and that saved my life. And then fast forward, well, I'm going to back up. So right after I had her, I had what is it called? The kidney doctor. They came in and told me your kidneys are failing. We're going to have to get you on dialysis or on a transplant list. And I was like freaking out. I'm like, you got the wrong person. That's not me. I eat pretty healthy, and I actually got kind of mad and told him to get out, to leave me alone. I'm like, you guys are probably doing it because you keep coming in here every 2 hours and poking me, and I just had a baby, and leave me alone. And so my kidneys continued to decline. I kind of kicked and screamed my way out of the hospital, but I kept doing follow-up visits to check my kidneys. They kept declining worse and worse and worse. So I think that they was at like 19 or 20% function when I was at the hospital. They're supposed to be at like 100%. So that's very low already. And then they got worse and worse and worse and worse until certain family members was like, get her into the hospital. She needs to do a biopsy of her kidney. And I'm like, so all these words freaked me out. I'm like, biopsy? Like, what the freak? Like this, it felt like a nightmare that I couldn't wake up from. And I was terrified because I knew they had to like stick a needle in and pull part of the tissue out of the kidney. And it was terrifying. But so I had my baby. So it was December 22nd when I had the near-death experience, January 22nd when I had my baby, and then 2/22, I was laying down with my baby on my chest, and they had done the biopsy of my kidney, and they took me back up to the room, and I was sitting there waiting, and then some guy comes in, and I don't know if he was a nurse or who, but he came in, and he's like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, I'm doing good, and kind of like anticipating what he was going to tell me. And he says, well, it looks like you've got cancer. And I'm alone except for with my baby. And I just my whole entire world just stopped. And I was like, I felt like my world was flipping upside down. And instantly I'm like, looking down at my baby. And I was so terrified that I may have given this to her, because all this flashback of how sick I had been, even during my pregnancy and everything, was coming to me. And I'm like holding this beautiful baby, and she came out perfect. But I was so terrified that I may have given this to her. And he's like, well, there's still a chance. We don't know for sure. We still need to like do some more testing, but we're pretty sure that it's multiple myeloma, a bone marrow cancer. And then he just like leaves, and I'm there alone. And he didn't have the very best bedside manners, but at the same time, looking back on it now, it's like fine. It's fine, because I've worked through stuff, but it was like very traumatizing at the moment. So I just laid there alone, and it was really crazy because my phone wouldn't work. So I couldn't call I couldn't call for support, or to be like, call family or anybody to be like, hey, like, what do I do? They just told me I might have cancer and whatever. I mean, it was just terrifying. My son and my daughter had just gone down to, my older one had just gone down to the cafeteria to get some food at this time. So they were going to be back soon. And it's like, surprise, like, surprise, your mom has cancer. Like, it was just, yeah, I'm like trying to figure out how to handle all of this news that I had just gotten. And then I had my oncologist walk in right after. And of course, I kind of talk about this in another video, but he told me a little bit about it. He was so compassionate, and he was so kind. Oh my gosh, a squirrel freaked me freaking out so hard. It's gone now, or I would show you, but that scared me so bad. That was a huge squirrel. Anyways, he comes in and super kind. And then he was asking me, do you have any questions? And I says, yes. Could I have given this to my baby? And he says, no, that's not how this works. It's not your fault. It's nothing you could have done. And they had done testing on whether it was environmental or genetically, that the cancer was genetics, and it was from environmental reasons, which is kind of the story behind why I started to clean up all the toxins, and why I have my whole skincare, hair care, all that stuff that I make myself to try to avoid the toxins. But it was a very long journey. So it was 5 years ago that I was diagnosed from today. And now it all just seems like a bad dream, because I can say now that I have more energy and more of like a present. I'm more present in my life, and I feel like I'm on my life's journey, like my dream now. And that kind of set the path of where I'm at now, because I have the Hairs a Million products that I sell to other people too. But also I'm a care coordinator, because I want to work with people to help give them hope. That I was very, very sick once too. I had no control over my thoughts. I had severe anxiety and depression. I'm very happy now. I can't say that I never have it, but it's like manageable. And my energy and my love for life has like amplified because of the things that I've been through. And also, I haven't really mentioned this, but I am going to school to be a health and a life coach. So I will be certified hopefully in July or August this year. And then I'm going to take the board certification exam to become board certified. But again, this is all because I want to help people the way that I wish that I had the help when I was going through things like this, and just to offer support. And I did have so much support from family and friends, but I know that there's so many people out there that don't have that support that I had. And so that's one of the reasons why I want to broaden my education and my certification or whatever, so that I can be there for the ones that genuinely and truly don't have people or a support system like I had. So, I work as a care coordinator at this clinic now, And I meet so many patients that really don't have the support system, and they could get through so much more and so much easier if they just had somebody who cares. And so I love what I do. I love this care coordinator position. It just turned out, it just started because I was going to fill in for somebody while they went on maternity leave. But, just this last week, they talked about, well, she's going to have to go on to her residency and leave anyway. And so they're talking about more long term, which was not my initial plan, because I was just going to get my new website up and then do this temporarily. But I love working with people, and I was so excited about the position. And it was everything and more that I ever dreamed of. And so I feel like that just more things have unfolded as far as like my life's path, and things that I don't feel like that I necessarily planned, but that have just been laid out before me. And with the experience and everything that I went through, it's kind of guided me, and given me more of a perspective on where people are coming from when they come in and they're looking for help. Like, I understand the fears that they have, and I understand that they don't know if they're going to make it through. Sometimes, like, I have patients that are dealing with cancer right now, and I get kind of emotional. So if I shed a tear or two, then just ignore it. But it's as they come in and they have these diseases, and they're like, it's so hard for them to find support just in the general medical field, because so much of our medical system is formulated to just put a Band-Aid on it and like send you home or send you with medications. In the clinic that I work for, then they treat the whole body. So yes, they do the medications and they do all the traditional stuff, but they also do supportive IVs. So they have like insulin IVs for diabetes, they have vitamin C IVs, and they have all of these things that are not super typical for you to find other places, but and they have exercise with oxygen. If you haven't ever looked into EWOT and how powerful that can be, because disease can't really live in highly oxygenated environments. And so this highly concentrated oxygen in the EWOT really helps flood your body with oxygen so that it can like help fight off diseases and also help for recovery. So a lot of people that are like training for athletic training, whatever, then it really helps them, as well as like people with fighting off diseases or whatever. It really helps your brain. So I talked about the IVs. They have prolotherapy, ozone. Like, I had an earache that last week, and I just put this cup on my ear that shot ozone to help like kill the bacteria, and I just like it cupped over, and that really helped to support, my body fighting off the infection or whatever. But that's one of the things that I love about the clinic that I work for. Besides the people, I absolutely love being there for people and being able to offer hope. And I'm super excited to become a health coach. And anyways, I know that this story kind of dragged on a little bit, but I'm so appreciative that for those of you that have listened, thank you for taking the time to listen. I just wanted to reflect back, because 5 years ago, so sick. I was so sick. And then I went through a whole entire year of cancer treatments. And then I lost my hair in January of 2020. And it took like 2 years after my transplant. So it's only been a couple of, maybe even a year or a year and a half, that I've really started to like truly heal and to feel myself again, because there's a lot that your body goes through after chemo and everything. I did all the natural stuff too, but there's hope. Like, it's not always easy, and I couldn't measure day to day the improvements, but I could measure. Sometimes it would take like 2 weeks, and some of the ways I would measure is, I was able to climb up a couple of stairs without having to pull myself up with the railing, stuff like that, because I had to like get extra support, even just things that should that just take minimal energy. Normally, it was so difficult for me. And the very first thing I was able to do was stand long enough to wash a sink full of dishes. And I celebrated that because at one time I could not stand. It took every bit of energy just to walk into the bathroom to use the bathroom. And I would lay there and lay there and lay there and think, do I really need to go that bad? Because it was so difficult even to walk to the bathroom. And as I would bath, I couldn't stand to shower. I didn't have the energy to stand. So I would bathe, and then just to get out of the tub, I would have to like sit down and put my head between my knees because my ears would start ringing because it took so much energy, and I would start to see stars and stuff. And so just a little bit of reflection on where I was at and where I am now. And then, that's just some of the inward stuff that I don't really talk about a lot. But then also, this is in March, this is going to be 4 years of hair growth. So I have a picture of me. I know that I lost my hair in January of 2020, but still in March of 2020, I had 0 hair. So it was like, it'll be 4 years in March that I have gotten this growth. And before, it would only grow to a certain length, and then it would break off and it just wouldn't get past this length. But since I started using the nutrients that I put on my skin and hair, the hair serum, of course, is like something that I use daily, and then the shampoo and the hair oil, then I've been able to grow it longer. And like we have the picture. If you scroll back, then you can see the picture of my daughters comparing their hair with mine. My hair is actually a little bit longer than both of theirs, and I started out completely bald, and they haven't cut their hair. And so when they saw that, they was like, holy cow, we got to be more consistent with this hair serum, because I was looking at their hair thinking, wow, they've got really long hair because it's longer than it's ever been, because they do use the stuff occasionally, but not all the time. But when I saw, because I don't have eyes on the back of my head, guys, so I know my hair's grown, but I don't know. I don't know until I compare. So when we had the picture side by side, and I saw mine was like just a little bit longer. I don't know. It's just enough to tell. Then I was like, holy crap, that's from being completely bald. So they had a head start, and that's what it does. So anything that I sell on my website, then it's because I use it myself. I believe in it. I use the skincare every day. It makes my skin glow. It has helped with the hyperpigmentation that I had. It's just helped with my skin was so crepey and like leathery and just really, really bad after chemo. And so it has completely transformed my skin. And that's why I sell it, is because it has helped so many people with so many skin conditions, from eczema to the hyperpigmentation to psoriasis even. And then it's cleared up skin cancer, or it's given the body what it needs so that the body can clear up the skin cancer. And acne, cystic acne, it's done all of these amazing things just by using nutrients that are 100% natural. So anyways, thanks for letting me share my story. I hope all of you guys have a fabulous day.